Well, let's hop across to Upasana. She's here to tell us about Voltas as well as Blue Star. Upasana?
First up, let me start with Blue Star. The company has reported a revenue growth of 21% on a YoY basis, which is largely in line with our estimates. And this growth was driven by 31%. That is a strong performance in the EMP segment, and the UCP segment 15% growth, which nearly moderated. Now, UCP segment growth moderated at 15% on a YoY basis, while the street was working with a growth of around 21%. This growth has been moderated as company says that April has been muted and it expects demand to pick up in May and June 2025. Now coming to the margins of the company, the margins stood at 6.9% versus 7.3% with a downtick of 50 basis points, while we were working with an estimate of 7.6, much below our estimates. Now PAT stood largely in line at 194 crores. Now coming to Voltas, overall the result was below expectations. Revenue was in line while EBITDA margin and PAT was lower due to EMP losses. Now EBITDA stood at 332 crore with an uptick of 74%, which was below our poll. EBITDA margin stood at 7%, which was slightly lower than our poll estimate of 7.5%, and PAT stood at 235, below our poll estimate. Now, company's market share stands at 19% as of March 25, which has declined sequentially from 20.5%, but company still retains its position as #1 player in the RAC segment. Now, Q4 saw a positive margin surprise in UCP segment at 10% with an uptick of 90 basis points, and company's EMP remains a drag with a revenue uptick of just about 4%, led by growth in domestic, and has reported a PBIT loss of 1.7 crores. So overall, weak results for Voltas.
All right. Okay, got it. Upasana, thank you very much for that.